If a plant died in your home, it might not be bad luck. It could be a sign. Drop a comment right now saying, "I need protection," and activate the very first step of this energetic ritual. Have you ever walked into your home and felt the air heavy? As if the place was hugging you, but not with comfort, with pressure, with fear. Maybe you don't even realize it, but your home could be draining your energy. And that affects your sleep, your money, your health, even your relationships. Light bulbs burning out for no reason, plants wilting, repeated nightmares. These aren't physical problems. They're spiritual symptoms, and most people only notice when it's already too late. Ancient traditions call this a vibrational prison. A contaminated space begins to consume everything you are. But here's the good news. It can be cleansed, sealed, and transformed with a secret symbol revealed only to the initiated. This video is a ritual. Watch it carefully or don't watch at all, because the ending reveals a secret that, according to Tibetan monks, cannot be heard by anyone still vibrating wrong. And the strangest part? The first time I saw this symbol, it was hidden behind an old mirror. And what happened afterward, no one ever could explain. So stop whatever you're doing, because in the next 60 seconds, you'll see your home with new eyes. And maybe, for the very first time, you'll understand why your life still hasn't flowed. For years, I blamed stress, routine, modern life. But no medicine explained the exhaustion that clung to me, or the chills I felt just walking down the hallway of my own house. Have you ever felt disconnected without knowing why? As if your energy was being silently drained, leaving no trace? That's exactly what happened to me, until a woman, a Buddhist nun I met on an unexpected trip to southern India, asked me a question that turned my world upside down. Have you ever cleansed the invisible part of your home? It struck me like lightning. I had never even thought of it. She told me about an ancient teaching guarded for centuries in mountain temples that speaks of stagnant energies, like underground currents pulling at people's souls without them noticing. She said certain spaces learn to get sick, and over time they start influencing everyone who lives there. Recurring illness, constant money struggles, relationships falling apart without explanation, nightmares that repeat. All of it can have a subtle origin, hidden under the carpet of our perception. And the most shocking part? She showed me how to dissolve this invisible weight with something I already had at home, but had been using the wrong way. A simple handful of salt, a quiet gesture, a precise intention. If you've ever felt this too, that sense that something is wrong but you can't put your finger on it, comment now. I've been there. Let's create a network of protection in the comments. You're not alone. And in the next part, I'll reveal the spiritual force that takes over a space when it's left untreated. Spoiler, it has a name, and it's known to paralyze even experienced monks. It creeps in slowly, starts in the corners of the house, and by the time you notice, you no longer feel joy in anything. Its name? Klesha. Few people know this, but in Buddhist philosophy, there's an invisible force called Klesha energy, a dense, quiet, persistent vibration acting like a virus of the soul. It doesn't break down doors, it makes no sound, it leaves no trace. but it turns a home into a minefield of emotional exhaustion, financial blockages, and fights that come out of nowhere. Have you noticed how some houses just carry sadness in the air? People walk in, start yawning for no reason. Plants droop. Relationships grow tense without any real cause. That's not random. That's the symptom of active klesha. According to the teachings of Tibetan masters, this energy doesn't come from ghosts or curses. It's born from accumulated emotions, words drenched in pain, and objects that hold on to memory. Saturated with negative memories. Every time you hold back a tear, lash out in anger, or simply ignore your discomfort, part of that vibration lingers in the air. And air, as you know, moves through every corner of your home. Now, listen closely. Klesha only settles in houses where awareness has been forgotten. It's like mold. It only grows where there's darkness and emotional dampness. But there is a practice, a silent ritual, something monks never write down in books, only passed on from master to student. A gesture performed at dawn with consecrated salt and deep breathing is powerful enough to break the cycle of spiritual drainage. This salt, according to the teachings, is not just a mineral. It's a symbol, an anchor to reprogram the vibration of the space, and a warning to negative energies that someone is awake now. That presence lives here. And here's something even more important. This ritual doesn't work every day. The ancient masters say it's only effective on specific days, when the moon is waning or when the house is completely silent. If you want to learn more rituals like this video right now, that's how you signal to YouTube and to the universe itself that you're ready to receive more spiritual wisdom. But before I reveal the full ritual, you need to understand the biggest mistake 90% of people make when they try to cleanse a home and actually make the energy worse. They think they're purifying, but in reality, they're activating a cycle of repetition that traps the soul in that space for years. If you do this ritual at any random time, nothing happens. But if you do it exactly the way I'll show you now, it's like lighting a bonfire in a pitch-dark room. You'll need 3 things: a handful of coarse salt, a glass of natural water, absolute silence, no TV, no phone, no one calling your name. Silence is the veil that allows the invisible to enter. Before you begin, close all the windows. Feel the air of the house sealed in with you. This is important. We are preparing the space as if it were a sanctuary. Sit on the floor facing the front door. This is not symbolic. It's strategic. According to the masters, all spiritual energy enters or leaves through the same vibrational line as the door. Now, hold the glass of water at chest level. Take the salt in your right hand and pour it slowly into the water, in silence. Notice the sound, the soft crackle of the grains hitting the bottom of the glass, the tiny turbulence forming in the center of the water, the subtle bubbles rising, as if something is being released. Yes, it is. Now, with your eyes closed, repeat this phrase 3 times in your mind. Whatever isn't mine leaves now. Whatever is mine returns to me. This is not poetry, it's a vibrational command. Words are anchors of intention. And when spoken in true presence, they transform the field around you. You may feel a gentle pressure in your chest or a shift in the room's temperature. Some people report chills, others a sudden urge to cry. Let it happen. It's what needs to leave. Leaving. Comment right now. I am at peace. I am protected. I am ready. By writing this, you anchor the intention into physical reality and help expand this vibration to others here with you. Yes, you're part of something bigger, and here's a detail almost nobody knows. If, after the ritual, you hear a creak in the ceiling or the glass crack slightly, it means the energy has responded. And that opens the way for the second stage, the seal of protection. But the seal, it cannot be made with salt. It is something much older, and it was found behind a broken mirror in an abandoned temple in Nepal. It was hidden behind that mirror, covered in dust and symbols carved by hand. And when it was removed, 3 monks stayed in complete silence for 3 days. The seal. It is not made of salt nor of water. It is a living symbol, ancient, forbidden in some monasteries, and considered far too sacred to ever be shown publicly. The first time I heard about it, the nun guiding me whispered, "You're not ready to see this symbol. It shows what's behind the wall." I didn't understand. It sounded like a metaphor until I actually saw what was behind the wall. This symbol was discovered in 1974 inside an abandoned temple in Nepal during an excavation led by Tibetan monks who were searching for protective relics before Western explorers arrived. Behind a cracked mirror, there was a stone compartment sealed with resin. Inside, an aged scroll and a piece of cloth embroidered with silver threads. There was the seal. It isn't beautiful, it isn't symmetrical, but it vibrates. Yes, it emits a low, almost imperceptible frequency that causes a faint nausea in anyone who isn't aligned. But for those who've already performed the salt ritual, it awakens something else, a protective field that prevents new invasive energies from entering. According to the translated records, this symbol only appears to those who have cleansed the space properly. Trying to use it too soon can trigger the opposite effect, a kind of spiritual confusion the monks call inner portal misalignment. That's why even today it has never been published in any official book. It is passed only through trust, from master to disciple, and as the monks say, it reaches those who need it, never those who merely want it. If you made it this far, write in the comments, "I am chosen." This isn't just a phrase, it's a vibrational code, a way to show to yourself that you are ready to move forward. And in the next step, you'll understand how this symbol actually interacts with your body, and why, in certain cases, it must be activated with an ingredient considered impure by traditional dogmas. This ingredient has been used for centuries, but only when combined with the symbol does it reveal its true nature, and many still fear it. Those who dare to activate the seal feel it in their body first, a light dizziness, a weight lifting from the back of the neck. Then something changes in the house. The air feels clearer, and the silence finally becomes peace. That is the testimony of dozens who completed the ritual, salt, seal, and intention, and nearly all describe the same pattern in the hours that follow. Sleep comes faster and deeper than usual. Vivid dreams with symbols, numbers, even loved ones who have passed. A sense of lightness in the space as if the house itself were breathing with you, and in some cases, unexpected signs of abundance. One woman shared that the very next day she received a phone call she had been waiting on for 7 months. Another said that when she woke up, she found a hummingbird perched on her windowsill, perfectly still, staring inside. Coincidence or response? According to the ancients, when the vibration of a space is consciously elevated, external reality reorganizes in response. It's like tuning a radio antenna. Suddenly, the messages come through with clarity. But what's most remarkable is how this process affects the body. Some report chills, others intense sweating. A few feel pains that last minutes, then vanish completely. All of this is part of natural energetic cleansing at the cellular level. Yes, cellular, because modern science already recognizes that the body responds to subtle fields. Research in vibrational neuroscience shows that spaces with elevated energetic charge cause measurable shifts in brain waves, especially in regions tied to memory, sleep, and decision-making. In other words, change the field, change the mind, and change the mind, change the destiny. Here's something important. The response isn't always pleasant at first. When you break an old pattern, the body reacts with resistance. That's why the masters recommend 3 days of relative silence after the ritual. Avoid arguments, negative news, or constant noise. It's like healing an invisible wound. If you feel something different in the next few hours, come back here and share it in the comments. Your story might validate someone else's experience, or even help them make sense of what they're feeling. Because on this kind of journey, sharing is healing. And if you haven't written anything yet, this is the moment. Because in the next video, I'll show you the impure ingredient, the most controversial of them all, that turns the seal into a true energetic shield. Yes, it's been used for centuries by mystics, healers, and even renegade monks. But for reasons you'll only understand once I tell you what happened to those who used this ingredient the wrong way. This ingredient has already been banned in 3 countries. But when combined with the seal, it unleashes a force that can break any curse. There are homes where the ritual works better, and they all have one thing in common: a catalyst object. I wasn't planning to talk about this yet. This kind of knowledge is usually reserved for those who've completed all cycles of protection. But something tells me you're ready to take this next step. So here it is. There exists a physical object that amplifies the energy of the seal and makes the salt ritual 3 times more powerful. And no, it's not a crystal. It's something far simpler. And you probably already have it at home, tucked away in a drawer or kept as an old keepsake, a piece of fabric that has absorbed your pain. It could be a T-shirt you wore on hard days, a tear-stained handkerchief, bed sheets from sleepless nights. According to hidden teachings, this object carries your rawest frequency. It acts like an energetic mirror of what needs to be transformed. Now take a deep breath and feel this. When you wrap the glass of salt and water in this fabric, as if you were protecting something fragile, you are telling the invisible field, I acknowledge the pain, but I choose to transform it. The catalyst object works as a bridge between pain and release. It isn't meant to be thrown away. It's meant to be purified alongside you. After the ritual, the fabric should be washed under running water with white vinegar. But vinegar, we'll talk more about that later. The water must be discarded outside the home, and the fabric kept with the intention of rebirth. It becomes your new vibrational shortcut. Whenever you need fast protection, simply touch it with presence. But caution, never use fabric that belonged to someone else. Other people's vibration can interfere with your field, creating static in the energetic communication. If you already know which object you'll use as your catalyst, comment now. I choose to transform. This marks the beginning of a conscious pact with your own energy. And if this content is stirring something inside you, save this video right now, because the next step involves an ingredient that was feared, hidden, and even criminalized by religious traditions. They called it impure. But in the right hands, it becomes the most powerful spiritual weapon ever documented by silent monks. If the salt ritual opened a door, and the symbol sealed that door, then the next step is understanding what lies on the other side. You didn't make it here by accident. Maybe you've felt something since the very beginning of this video. Maybe you shivered at a phrase, or your heartbeat quickened for no logical reason. That's what the ancients called a vibrational calling. Some people watch out of curiosity, others out of necessity. But there's a third group, the ones who were remembered, people with a finer sensitivity, something that can't be explained by religion, science, or logic. They don't follow rules. They feel. And if you're here with a calmer heart or a clearer mind, then maybe you are one of them. And you need to know, the most powerful part of this knowledge is still to come. I'm talking about a ritual that can only be done once a month. A very specific moment, when the Earth's vibration drops just enough to allow the cleansing of invisible ties. These ties don't come from curses. They come from contracts you never consciously signed, but that were activated through words, relationships, or old wounds. And here's the curious part. The key to breaking them is not a crystal, not a mantra. It's an ingredient considered impure by traditional religions. Vinegar. Yes, vinegar. But not the one sitting in your kitchen cabinet. This is consecrated vinegar, prepared with specific herbs at specific times under complete silence. A liquid with a strong scent and a restless soul. Used by nomadic mystics, mountain shamans, and even a group of Tibetan monks exiled for practicing what they called vibrational alchemy. And the most striking part? It's not ingested, it's blown. Yes, blown across doors, windows, and mirrors, as if pushing out of the space everything that was never meant to be there. But here's the crucial warning. If done incorrectly, it seals the opposite. It traps instead of releasing. That's why this ritual will not be shared here. It will only be revealed in the next video. And not for everyone. Only for those who've shown presence, intention, and respect for what they've received today. If you felt this calling up to this point, comment right now, I want the vinegar ritual. This simple comment isn't just engagement. It's a silent code that tells the universe, I am ready. And here's an important note. The next video will only be available for 48 hours. After that, by direct instruction from the ritual's guardians, it will be hidden and will only return once the moon completes a new cycle. This is serious. Miss the moment, and you'll have to wait a full month. And in this kind of practice, timing is everything. Those who watch late don't receive the proper vibration. So if you want the next step, subscribe now and turn on the bell with all notifications. Don't let the algorithm decide for you. You decide. And when the video comes out, watch it with silence, presence, and respect. The revelation of consecrated vinegar is not just a ritual. It's the turning point for anyone who feels they carry something that doesn't belong to them. May your home feel lighter. May your eyes see the invisible with wisdom. And may your soul be ready for what comes next. Shanti, Shalom, peace. If you've made it this far, something inside you has already begun to shift. Maybe you can't explain it yet. Maybe you don't even have words for what you've felt. But feel your body now, the breath, the silence around you, the lightness beginning to rise in the space that surrounds you. This isn't just a video, it's a frequency. And when you allow yourself to move through it, even without understanding everything, you align with the invisible, with your home, and with what lives in the deepest part of your soul. May the old energies be released. May the waters of your home flow again in peace. May your thoughts grow softer, and may you never again sleep in a place where pain hides. You are not alone. All of us here are part of the same circle. People who feel more than they see, the kind that listens to silence and carries an ancient wisdom in its very cells, even if you can't quite remember where it came from. Drop in the comments if you felt this energy with us today. That's how we spread this vibration. Not with noise, not with pressure, just presence. I'll see you in the next video when the time is right, when you are ready, and when the truth of the consecrated vinegar can finally be revealed. Shanti, Shalom, peace. You are protected now.